the way I say my plant should be run. The next thing we do is a 200 systems. This is part of also SCADA. Programmable logic controller is what PLC is to manipulate equipment remotely or on site. This one's remote PLC network connections. So to understand about initiating equipment status change, the subject matter expert thought that you needed to understand remote PLC network connections. And for that one knowledge, what do I need to know to do the task? They have to understand what model types we have, where are they located, how do they operate, what maintenance is done, what's its capacity, how do you know it's broke? And then what's its normal operating position, on, off, standby, etc. And we write an answer for every single one of those. Now notice I said we have 2,000 competencies now. So I want you to multiply just with those systems in there by 2,000. And that's how many answers we've been writing. Because we've taken the time to dig that. Dig that answer out. Why? Because I will submit to you and discuss it with you off to the side is this. You owe it to your employees to tell them what good looks like. You can't just send someone out to train someone and expect that subject matter expert, that journeyman, to just know. Because you know what? He's going to do the best job he can. And you know, in our job, sometimes people make mistakes. And particularly in our side, we're the dirty water Navy, right? It can get bad because we're like the dentist. People don't pay attention to us until what? It hurts or it smells, right? And then trust me, they'll be on the phone to us in a heartbeat, okay? The training system, second part, the assessment. So we go out, we develop this JCR, we train them. We have classes for every single one of these training modules, or we're developing classes for every single one of them. Yep. What? Don't I have till 9:40? What? What do I have till 9? Ask Cheryl for that call. Okay, so I get 10, right? Thank you. All right, so assessments. So we do that test. We take them to the class, we train them, and then we take them out and we assess them on all those minimum knowledge and skills. We assess the competencies in the JCR standard answers. Then we base the assessment on the competencies that they're trained on. So we take that information, we make a course, we train them, and then they have to actually go out and do that task, either after being demonstrated or just, you know, some of them are very simple, so they just go out and replicate the task, etc. The next thing we want to do is we want to carry this out to critical thinking and scenario-driven training, which is if, then, else. So we can use assessments, which is the HR side of reaching out. We want to use assessments to provide input to employee development plans. We can gauge effectiveness of certain systems within the training program, like instruction, instructors, knowledge retention. And then it provides data to our operational excellence scorecards, balance scorecards, etc. I want to go real quick to the component of sending the subject matter expert out to train. This is what a subject matter expert at USD told me one day when he sat in my cube totally frustrated because he was assigned to do a module and I didn't know he was assigned to do it, but he didn't know what he was doing, and after 4 months of work, he brought me the end product. And it didn't look good. And he was upset. And he was a collection systems worker. And when he said this, I wrote it down because I think, he's saying it exactly how they say it. And this is what he said. And I let you read it. And that was out of a moment of frustration. So it's the old question of, what do you mean trained? And when you send them out to train, do they know what they're doing? At Union Senate, whoops, hey, what happened? Hold on, I'll get it. There we go. Cool. I may have hit the wrong button. Okay. At Union Sanitary, we have a Train the Trainer course. And we train them on adult learning theory, training module development, training strategies and techniques, and then we train them how do you assess somebody. So we train them how to build a module, we train them how to teach the module, and then we train them how to assess people on those modules so that they know what good looks like. And when do you determine that they met the standard? The next thing, hey, what's happening? Competency inventory. When we get the inventory and we do these assessments, we're going to have an inventory, and it's going to tell us what do we know, who knows it, and what do we not know? Then, what are we going to do about it? And this is all that tail leading into long-term staffing. Who's coming and going based on retirement, hiring freeze, system reduction, new capital improvement programs, and also, what are we not going to have to? I think at Union Sanitary District, I think we're dumping all of our commonutors with grind up stuff. I think we're going to another system. Well, we have a whole section in our modules how to train people on commonutors. So the old thing is, what do we not have to train them on? And then succession planning. Who is leaving and when are they leaving? And what are we going to do about it? Are we going to replace with new hire? Are we going to train somebody? Or are we going to outsource it? Last thing I'll leave you with, and then I'll finish on time, right? She's brutal. How much time do I have? 3 minutes. That was 7 minutes real fast. I want to leave you with this one fact because this is very important to me. It's near and dear to my heart as a trainer. And that is this. What do you mean, take back, if you take anything back from my section from this meeting, take back to where you work, and when you sit in the room and you hear people say, oh, they've been trained, or we're holding training for this, and yep, that training's done, I want you to ask this question. What do you mean by the word trained? Define that. And it took us another 4 or 5 months, and Judy was involved in it, along with our HR analyst, and then the managers sat and we talked about this definition, because when we were in a meeting, 2 managers, one said, my people have been trained, another manager said, that's not what I mean when training, and we realized we had to come to a common definition of it. And I'll ask you to do the same thing when you go back to your place of employment. Ask, what do you mean that that employee's been trained? How do we know they know that? What have we done? And at Union Sanitary District, this is how we defined it. It occurs when instruction is given either on the job, in the classroom, or both. And this is the important part. Accomplished in concert with, followed by self-demonstration of the acquired knowledge and skill. So that if you're in the operating groups at Union Sanitary District and you're in a meeting and they're saying that employee has been trained, that is what they mean. They don't mean I sent them off to school to forklift certification and they passed the course and they came back. At Union Sanitary District, every one of those guys we sent out, I got to go out and certify them in forklift still at the district. Why? You don't know if he knows it unless you actually see him doing it. And that's what I leave you with. That's me. I thank you very much.